Here are some top tips for working at home. First of all, we have to limit distractions. Now, we know it takes a lot of brain for learning, and that our brain processes information and works things out and remembers things in different ways. We have a working memory and we have a long-term memory. And this is why I can remember the telephone number I had growing up, but if you ask me to post a letter on my way home from school, then I will probably forget. So when we're approaching a lesson in school, then our teacher is speaking to us on Teams or we're accessing an activity on Seesaw, it's our working memory where we're trying to process that information. Our working memory is a temporary workspace to understand new things. It's where we first take in what's going on around us. It's a bit like a mental whiteboard. And it can't hold much at a time. It can only hold 4 or 5 things at once. And it's easy to forget things if the whiteboard gets too full. So imagining that our brain has these 5 sections, our working memory has these 5 sections where we can remember things. And when we're working at home, some of those sections can easily get taken up with other things. When we're on computers, we might be worrying about, is my Wi-Fi okay? I can't hear properly. Is my mic working? Am I on the right slide? All these questions can take up one part of that working memory. We might also be distracted by having siblings, having learning in other rooms, being able to hear the toddler playing around on the floor and adults moving around. And big questions like, how long is this going to last? When can I get back to school? And these are unavoidable. We can't help these, but it does mean that leaves us with 2 left for learning. So we need to limit any other distractions as far as possible so that we can use these last 2 areas of our whiteboard for listening to what our teacher's telling us, for working things out, and for learning. How can we do that? Well, first of all, we can try and find a quiet space. Now, that isn't always possible in busy households, but we'll do our best. The other thing we can do is that we can make a point of facing away from other people so we can't see them. Ideally, the television will be off, but if for some reason it has to be on, then again, we face away from it so it's not drawing us in and being a distraction. Don't eat during lessons. That will just be another distraction that we could do without. And then make lists and be organised. And that will take us on into tip number 2. Get organised. Establish your routine. So let's figure out what's going to be done at what time of day. Try and stick to the same sort of routine each day, and then we all know when it's finished, the day is ours again. Lists. Make a list each morning. These are the things to do today. I can tick them off, and when they're done, all good. Tip number 3 is know that you can get better at being organised. Some of us are more naturally organised than others, but it does work along a scale. It's a skill that we can practice and that we can get better at. It just takes a little bit of effort to get from feeling in a mess to feeling organised. Practical things like making sure devices are charged before we start the lessons. Like making sure the space I'm going to work is tidy. Make sure I've got everything I need. Make sure my lists are handy so I know exactly what I need to achieve today. And remember to limit other distractions as far as possible so I can focus on the things I need to think about for this lesson. Tip 4. Reward yourself for hard work. Set yourself targets and reward yourself as you go. Little quick rewards are enough, and be creative. Find ways to say, well done me. For example, you might say, I'm going to finish this task and then I'll let myself go for a little wander around and see what everyone else is up to. Or I'm going to get to question number 6 and then I'm going to reward myself by reading a few pages of my book or picking up some pens and doing some colouring. You might decide to reward yourself by going and getting a drink or going to find the cat. Set yourself small targets to get you nearer to getting everything on that to-do list ticked off. And finally, tip number 5. Keep in touch with each other. Give each other a call. Find ways to keep in touch and make sure that everyone around you is doing okay. So here are our 5 top tips. Limit distractions. Get organised. Know that you can learn to be better at being organised. Reward yourself for hard work and keep in touch. You might have found other ways to do well at online learning, and if you have, then do share them with everyone else so that we can all learn. We're a few weeks in now and we are all still figuring things out, so share your ideas and together we'll become experts at learning online.